Hi guys, Quasi here. And today, I don't really feel like making this video, but I'm going to make it anyways. So today, I want to share with you what to do in times when you know you have to do something, but you don't feel like doing it. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Should you take a break? Or should you go hard and go ham? So in this video, I'm going to discuss with you what it really takes to be successful. So today's video was inspired by a question that I got in one of our customers asked in my customer community. And this person, he came on and he was like, what do you do when one night you don't sleep too well? Like the next day in your workouts, do you take it easy? Or, when you're working, anything that you're doing, everything that you're doing, how do you conduct yourself? Do you just take it easier? Do you rest? What if you get injured? If you go to the gym and you haven't slept well? To that, I answered, well, if you don't feel too well, if you haven't slept too well, this is an opportunity for you to discover what your core standard is, to see at your worst how you'll perform. And that's your absolute baseline. So please think about it this way. If on my worst day, I still perform really well, that's going to do something for my mindset, right? That's going to show to me that I'm unstoppable. So in order to build that unshakable self-confidence, these are the acts that you need to do. And very early on in my journey, I realized that in order to grow, you need to operate outside the comfort zone. Right? So many of you probably know about this, the comfort zone and how you should be uncomfortable every day. But it's easy to forget the importance of operating outside your comfort zone. And this is something I learned and I started implementing very early on. So I told this customer, hey, if you don't feel like doing it, go ahead and do it anyways. Because the reference experience you're going to get from that, you're going to have in your subconscious forever. And the next time you're presented with something that you don't want to do, and you just get up and do it anyways, you just act against yourself, your feelings, you'll see how far you can grow. So anytime we act within our comfort zone and whatever we're feeling in the moment, we're just going with our current state. We can't change our state from this current state until we step into that new state. And that comes from the intention, the conscious intention to become a little bit better, to do that thing, to talk to that person that you've been meaning to talk to, or to make that offer you've been wanting to make. What most people do is they're a slave to their feelings. Whenever you're a slave to your feelings, you're just a slave to your body. Whatever the body feels, you'll go with. And if you live like that, then you'll never be able to grow. You'll never be able to achieve your goals. You'll become a slave to your body, to society, to what other people are saying. Okay? And what I've noticed and how I've realized this was last year, in the year of 2020/2021, I had a big transition in my business. So I went from taking all of the sales calls in my business to enroll prospective clients to delegating it to someone else. And that was a huge mindset shift for me. But as soon as I did that, so much time got freed up for me. And I just didn't know what to do with it. So I started being comfortable. So I started thinking, I'm just going to relax now. And then my whole attitude started to change. When I was at the gym, I didn't feel like pushing myself too much. In my business, I didn't feel like growing it too much or doing things that are uncomfortable. I was very happy with where I was because I'd reached my peak. And because of that, I was stuck and I was actually deteriorating in the business for a very long time. And that energy was starting to seep out into other areas of my life. Like I mentioned to you with my fitness, I wasn't really making a lot of progress in my fitness. I was just lifting the same weight, going to the gym, and it almost felt repetitive. And even in my business, I didn't grow. I was stuck at the same revenue level for a long time. And it felt like Groundhog Day every day. But I was comfortable, it was fine. I was just living like a peaceful, quiet, calm life. But there was no challenge in there. And because of the lack of challenge, I started to kind of get depressed and kind of become apathetic. And I realized a lot of business owners have this happen to them as well. They get up to a certain level and they don't know what to do next. They don't have anyone to keep them accountable. They don't have anyone to show up for. But if I contrast this to how I was when I started off, when I got started off in this business, I had something to prove, right? So when I got started off, I was making 7 videos a day. I was taking all the sales calls. I was working 12 hours a day. And it was hard, it was tough, it was taxing, but it was fulfilling. It was incredibly fulfilling at the end because I knew I was working towards something. But the year of 2020 and 2021, I kind of lost that feeling of what it felt like to be fully alive. And this is what happens to you when you're in your comfort zone. You start to become a little bit dead inside because you don't really have anything that's challenging you every single day. And what I learned was it was never really about the goals. You know, like all of the goals that you have, you can achieve them. But it's in, again, the process of achieving the goals, as cliche as it sounds. It's the hard work. The hard work is the goal. Doing the work and pushing yourself is the goal. And I actually realized this when I hired this personal trainer, and we do like FaceTime workouts. And he trains me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But before that, I never had a personal trainer. But then what I would notice was that he would keep pushing me to do more reps, but I just didn't want to do it. And my whole body was rebelling because I was so accustomed to being comfortable, just doing the 8 reps that I set for myself, or maybe even less. And this is how I was slowly dying inside, slowly going into that comfort zone. But as soon as I started training with this personal trainer and actually pushing myself, that attitude of, oh, I don't want to do an extra rep, do it anyways. Oh, I don't want to reach out to that client, do it anyways. Oh, I don't want to wash the dishes or do this, housework, do it anyways. So once my attitude shifted from the comfort to this of expanding your comfort zone, I got reminded of that feeling of being alive when I initially started the business. And now everything's starting to fall into place all over again. But I needed to go through that period in order to learn this lesson. So in that, everything in life, all of the lessons that you learn, all of the periods that you go through, even though they may seem like, that was a tough time, they still have their value. Right? So that's what I learned. And one thing my personal trainer always say is, winners do what losers won't. And that's something that I've learned the hard way. When you don't want to do what you don't feel like doing, then you automatically become a loser. But if you just do it anyways, if you just expand that comfort zone anyways, you'll become a winner. So what I really want to conclude with this video is that at the end of the day, the fundamental thing that allows one to achieve their goals isn't the action that you take. Like if you have this action of, all right, I'm going to do something uncomfortable. It's not about the action itself. It's the willingness that you had to go against yourself. It's the willingness that you had to go against this current conditioned mindset, current conditioned identity. You had the willingness to go against it. And once you follow through with the action, you do something that you didn't want to do anyways, that leads to massive growth. That leads to you discovering new things that weren't in your worldview. So many times we see business owners not being able to see or utilize tools and business tactics that are right under their noses. Why? They use these same tactics that other business owners are using, and the other people get successful, but they can't. Or they're not clear on what they need to do. What's the next step in my business? What do I need to do? They're not clear because they're doing things that are comfortable every single day. And when you're in that comfort zone of wake up, go to work, come back, watch some TV mindlessly, fall asleep, you just live this groundhog pattern over and over again. So at the end of the day, it's the intention, the willingness that you have to actually take that uncomfortable action. Oh, I don't feel like doing that extra rep. I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. So when I start to think about it in the more macro sense, then it actually helps me. So instead of thinking about the general action you're going to take, think about the intention. What's the resolve here? Anytime I've become successful in any area of my life, it wasn't because I took some action. It was because there was the resolve there in the first place. I said to myself, I'm committing to this path and I'm going to have it one way or the other. I don't care what I need to do. Obviously, if it's within reason. I don't care what I need to do. I'm going to somehow have it anyways. And the actions were just like a byproduct of it. When I made the intention, that's when the action came, right? The action doesn't come before the intention. The intention is what gets everything kick-started. So I want you to focus from now on the intention that you have behind every single action that you take. Why are you doing this? What's the intention behind it? What is it that you want to have? Because believe it or not, even if it's about the hard work, if it's about the process, the mind needs to focus on a goal because it would like to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Or else you just keep engaging in a process for the sake of engaging in a process with no direction. So this is why I always tell people, like, if you really want to grow in your personal development journey, have a goal, have an area of your life, whether this be your business, whether this be your fitness or relationships, whatever it is. To grow spiritually, you need to commit yourself fully in a direction, or it could be in those 3 directions, right? But you can't just sit at home and meditate all day and grow. Trust me, I've tried. It doesn't work. And you need to be uncomfortable every day. And those lessons that you learn along this journey will lead you to that spiritual growth. That will happen naturally as you pursue the goals. So you might be asking a very crucial question at this point of the video. And this question arises because, well, I talked about feelings and how you shouldn't be a slave to your feelings. So the question now is, how do you differentiate between intuition and feeling? Now, this is a great question because a lot of the times when we get an intuitive insight, it's a feeling, right? You feel like a tingling sensation and you're like, all right, I know I have to do this. I know I have to take this path in my business. So how do you differentiate between the two? Well, here's how. When you have an intuitive insight, it will keep haunting you forever. It's your calling. You can't run away from it. And how I decipher between intuitive insights and just bodily feelings that keep you a slave to your body and mind is simply that when I'm having this feeling, this intuitive insight, is it still reappearing a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now? I'll give it some time to marinate. If I get some idea, some shower thought or something, and it keeps coming up in my life, then I'll act on it. If someone recommends a book to me, first time I won't read it, second time I won't read it. But if 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people are recommending the same book to me over and over again, then I'll probably read it. If it keeps reappearing in your life, if a certain piece of content, a certain book, or a certain thought keeps reappearing, then that's something that's calling you right now. Otherwise, it's a distraction. Okay? So that's the answer to that question. So finally, what I want to leave you off with is a key that you can keep using, that you keep focusing on every single day. And that is simply do what you don't feel like doing at least once every day. Even if it's the tiniest thing, like maybe you don't feel like walking the dogs. Go ahead and do it anyways. Maybe you don't feel like doing some chores in the house. At that moment when you don't feel like doing it, you want to stop right there and use that as a trigger to act against yourself. You have to act against this character, or else this character will control you. And you'll always be limited in your perception. Your perception of the world will always be limited to your comfort zone. And that's one thing I realized that you don't want. So anyway, with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this style. I wanted to make this more personal, kind of like I'm telling a story. But I usually like to do the board videos. Those are also cool from time to time. But let me know what you thought of this. If you like it, I'll try to make more of it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And also, I wanted to mention you can access our exclusive email list where I can share stuff that I can't really share on the channel. The link for that is in the pinned comments down below. And also, if you'd like to work closer together with me and my team in our flagship Reality Mastery program, you can scroll down to the description box below or even the pinned comments below and apply. Who we typically work with are people who are business owners and entrepreneurs who are stuck at a certain revenue level in their businesses and they want to scale up. You're at least doing 5K a month and you have all of the tactics and strategies, but you're seeing that it's not a tactical or strategic problem. It's a mindset problem. You have a limited perception. You can't see. You don't know what you don't know. You have these blind spots and you need someone external to look at them. And if that sounds like you, click on the link in the description to sign up and let's see if we can help. Our free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.